in the exam, you are going to be asked different questions in which you have to be able to figure out using your right hand which direction the force is going on different situations. So the first one, you're given a rod and you're told the rod is moving with a velocity. Your thumb is the direction of the velocity. Your fingers are always the field, okay? Your thumb is always the velocity of the movement. So here now, I've got crosses, so my field is going into the board. My thumb is going to go with the direction of the velocity. So my palm tells me the force that's going to be onto the positives. So you're going to end up with an EMF where this is positive up, negative down the bottom. So this is an EMF question. So it's going to be saying which direction is going to be on the force on the positives, and it will be an upward force. So the force is going to be moving in that direction. So that's going to be the charge. You'll have a positive and a negative. Same situation, but now I have the field coming out of the board. So I've got fingers coming out. Oh, okay. Again, this is what you're going to have to do in the exam. Thumbs moving in this direction, fingers are out. So therefore I'm going to have a force from the palm pushing down. Okay, so this is going to have the force pushing down. So the positives are going to be down there, negatives up here. So that's situations with the rod. Next situation, you're going to have charged particles that are entering. So they have a velocity. So the thumb is the velocity. So the particles have a velocity and they're entering a magnetic field, and there's going to be a force because of this magnetic field. So fingers are always field. They're going into the board. If I think about this positive one now, okay, I want to know what direction it's going to go. So it's thumb, velocity, fingers into the board. So my palm is my positive. It's going to be experiencing a force up. So it's actually going to move in this direction. So the force is going to be coming upwards. So it's going to have that force up. This negative, think about the negative as being like on the back of the hand. So it's the same thing, but it's going to have a force that's going to make it push down. So it's going to end up curving in a downward direction. So if I look at the same situation, but from a field coming out of the board, okay, again, field's coming out of the board, fingers this way, velocity this direction. So the positive is going to be experiencing a force down, because positive is always the palm. Positive force down, so it's going to be moving down this way because the force is going to be causing it to want to move down. The reason it curves is because it has momentum. Okay, so then the opposite must be happening for the negative, because the negative is the back of the hand. It's going to be experiencing a force up, so it's going to curve upward. If we have this situation now we're looking at a magnetic field from a different direction. So now, north to south, we have the field shifting like this. Now, this circle with the dot is a current carrying wire. Okay, so the same thing can be happening because it's carrying a current that has moving charge. Okay, so here now my fingers, velocity of the charge is my thumb, so it's now coming out of the board. That's the dot. My fingers are my flux, so this wire is going to be experiencing a force up. So it's going to end up moving up because that's the direction of the force that it's going to be having. Because my fingers with the field lines, my thumb with the direction, the velocity that the charged particles are experiencing, so it's forcing up. This is a different situation down here. Now I have a charged particle entering, but the same thing again, it's moving with a velocity. Okay, so here, there's my field lines, always go from north to south. So my field, my velocity is my thumb, always thumb for moving charges. So it's going to be experiencing a force into the board. Okay. Now we have the last situation that I put up on the board where we have to figure out the direction, and it's going to be asking if it is clockwise, anti-clockwise, or nothing. So it's the direction of the induced current. So here we have a wire and it's moving. This arrow here is indicating it's moving with a velocity. So now I need to be thinking I have a change. Okay, I've got a change in magnetic flux. There has to be no flux into flux. So now my thumb, okay, the direction of the velocity, my field's in. So this piece of wire here is going to be experiencing, okay, a force up like that. The charges are going to have a force up like that, which means that if this is up like this, it's going to be moving in this direction. And this direction is that right? No, wait. Let me think there. It's moving, that's anti-clockwise. If in this situation, it's in a constant state of flux, the magnetic flux isn't changing, so there's no change in the flux, there's no change in the field. If there's no change in the field, there is no induced current. So there's going to be no induced current in this situation, but in this situation, it's now exiting. I just do the same thing, but I'm dealing with what's going on in the field. So here, it's now moving this way there. Okay, so it should be moving up in this. No, it's got to be this one here. So here it's moving up. It's got to be the wire that's still in the field. Okay, so it has to be the part of the coil that's still in the field. So it's going to be moving up here. Because notice here how it was the part of the wire that was in the field. Has to be the part of the wire that's in the field. Okay, so it's going to be pushing up. So it's going to end up having a direction like this. And that is clockwise. Okay, thank you. Done.